Have you ever felt the crushing weight of trying to control every outcome in your life, pushing relentlessly and stressing over things that ultimately remain beyond your grasp? What if the secret to a life of inner peace lies not in pushing harder, but in learning to gracefully surrender, to release the iron grip of control and to flow with life's natural current? Imagine a profound inner calm that allows you to embrace uncertainty, find joy in the simplest moments, and face challenges with a quiet confidence that needs no external validation. This isn't a fantasy. It's the core promise of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that offers a powerful blueprint for living with less force and more flow, unlocking a deep and enduring sense of clarity and peace. Living fully in the present is a concept that resonates profoundly with Stoic philosophy, which teaches us that our only true possession is the here and now. In a world that relentlessly pulls our minds toward a planned future or a regretted past, it is all too easy to lose touch with the richness of the present moment. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal meditations, offered a stark and powerful reminder: do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. This profound statement is not meant to be morbid, but rather to serve as a call to action, urging us to recognize that time is fleeting, and the only moment we truly have to live, to act, and to be good is the one happening right now. So many of us navigate our days in a state of mental, perpetual motion, constantly thinking about the next task on our to-do list, obsessing over future goals, or replaying past mistakes and conversations in our minds. As a result, we often miss the richness and beauty of the present, allowing our minds to be elsewhere while our bodies are physically present. The Stoics believed that living fully in the present is not merely an exercise in mindfulness, but a way of embracing life as it happens, appreciating the smallest moments and releasing the incessant need to control or fix everything. Think back to a time when you were completely immersed in the moment, perhaps while enjoying a quiet morning with a cup of coffee or taking a peaceful walk in nature. In those moments, your mind was fully focused on the here and now, and you likely experienced a sense of calm and contentment that is elusive when you are consumed by worries about future outcomes or past regrets. Stoicism teaches us that this profound sense of inner peace is always within our reach, provided we make the conscious effort to focus on the present. In practical terms, living in the present involves cultivating a deep appreciation for the small joys that make up our daily lives. It could be something as simple as feeling the warmth of the sun on your face, listening to the sound of laughter from loved ones, or savoring a delicious meal. These moments, which often seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, are in fact the very fabric of a happy life. When we focus on the present, we inherently reduce our stress and anxiety because we are no longer expending mental energy on things that are outside of our control. The Stoics believed that a great deal of human suffering arises from wishing that things were different than they are, or fearing what might happen in the future. By training our minds to stay in the present, we liberate ourselves from this unnecessary mental burden and find peace in reality. Consider a simple daily act like eating a meal. How often do you find yourself eating while watching TV, scrolling through your phone, or thinking about a task you need to complete? Now imagine sitting down to that same meal and consciously savoring every bite, paying full attention to the flavors and textures, and simply focusing on the act of nourishing your body. This is a powerful act of living in the present. It's about immersing yourself fully in the experience, no matter how routine it may seem. Over time, this kind of mindful practice builds a deep sense of gratitude for the little things, which in turn elevates your overall well-being and contentment. A powerful and accessible way to practice living in the present is through mindfulness, which simply means being aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings in the current moment without judgment. By letting go of distractions and focusing on what is happening right now, you engage more deeply with your experiences and enhance your effectiveness in whatever you are doing. Of course, living fully in the present is not always easy, as our minds naturally tend to wander. The Stoics recognize this and emphasize the importance of consistent practice. Epictetus recommended that we regularly ask ourselves, what am I doing right now, and how does it contribute to my overall well-being? This simple question is a powerful tool for pulling us out of autopilot and reminding us to refocus on the moment. A practical way to start is by setting aside a few minutes each day for quiet reflection, breathing deeply, and letting go of thoughts about the past or future. By consistently practicing this, you will notice a profound shift in your daily experience. Less stress, more joy, and a deeper connection to yourself and your surroundings. Ultimately, living fully in the present means accepting that the present moment is the only reality we have, as the past is gone, and the future is not guaranteed. This does not mean abandoning planning, but it means not letting thoughts of the past or future consume you to the point that you miss the life unfolding right in front of you. When you start living fully in the present, you'll find that time feels richer, your relationships become deeper, and your sense of peace grows. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "While you live, while it is in your power, be good." A timeless call to live with intention, fully present in every moment. One of the most profound and liberating lessons from Stoic philosophy is the understanding and acceptance of impermanence. Everything in life, from our cherished possessions to our most important relationships, and even our own physical existence, is temporary. The Stoics believe that embracing this fundamental truth is not a path to despair, but a key to living a more confident, purposeful, and fulfilling life. Marcus Aurelius captured this perfectly when he wrote in his Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This is not a frightening statement, but a powerful reminder to live with presence and intention, knowing that every moment is a precious and finite gift. At first, understanding impermanence can be unsettling because we are conditioned to believe in stability and permanence. We cling to the idea that things will always stay the same and that we have an abundance of time to achieve our goals. However, the Stoics teach that everything is in a constant state of change: our circumstances, our emotions, the people in our lives, and even our own bodies. By accepting this reality, we can stop desperately clinging to things that are beyond our control, a struggle that only creates anxiety and stress. Instead of resisting the natural flow of change, Stoicism encourages us to embrace it, which allows us to navigate life's inevitable ups and downs with greater resilience and calm. This understanding is particularly helpful when it comes to our relationships. Many people struggle with the overwhelming fear of losing loved ones, whether through a breakup, a death, or simply drifting apart. This fear can lead to immense pain because we often operate under the expectation that relationships will last forever. But the Stoics remind us that all relationships, like everything else in the universe, are impermanent. Epictetus offered a powerful and seemingly harsh piece of advice. When you kiss your child goodnight, say to yourself, "They may be dead in the morning." This is not a call to become detached or indifferent. On the contrary, it is a profound call to action, urging us to cherish every moment with those we love and to let go of the fear of losing them. By accepting impermanence, we can engage more deeply with the people in our lives, knowing that our time together is limited and thus more valuable. This perspective fosters more kindness, patience, and appreciation, because we are no longer taking those relationships for granted. The same liberating principle applies to our careers, our material possessions, and our health. Everything is subject to change, and by embracing this reality, we free ourselves from the suffering that comes from trying to hold on to what cannot be held. We see this in our modern obsession with youth and beauty, which leads many to fear the natural process of aging. However, the Stoics embraced aging as a natural part of life's cycle. Seneca wrote, "We are born to die. It is our duty to be prepared for that and live as if each day is our last." Instead of fearing the passage of time, this perspective encourages us to accept it with grace, recognizing that every stage of life brings its own unique wisdom and value. By understanding impermanence, we stop resisting the inevitable and learn to live more fully in each moment. Furthermore, this understanding can be incredibly liberating when it comes to our attachment to material possessions. We spend our lives accumulating wealth, buying bigger houses, and acquiring more things in the belief that these will bring lasting happiness. But the Stoics knew that material wealth is fleeting and that true contentment comes from within. Epictetus warned that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By understanding that material things are impermanent, we can enjoy them without becoming overly attached. When we stop relying on external things for our happiness, we build a deeper sense of inner peace and confidence. The impermanence of life also encourages us to focus on what truly matters. When you realize that your time is limited, you naturally become more intentional about how you spend it, prioritizing joy, personal growth, and meaningful connections over trivial pursuits or drama. The Stoics encouraged us to live each day as if it were our last. Not in a fatalistic way, but as a powerful reminder to live with presence and purpose. For instance, if you are consumed by stress and worry at work, the Stoic understanding of impermanence can remind you that this moment of stress is temporary and not as significant as it may feel in the grand scheme of your life. This perspective helps you detach from anxiety and refocus on doing your best without being paralyzed by worry. In conclusion, understanding the impermanence of life is a key Stoic lesson that helps us live with greater peace and confidence. When we accept that everything is temporary, our relationships, our possessions, and even our own lives, we stop clinging to what we cannot control and begin to appreciate life's fleeting moments. The Stoics teach us that by embracing change and impermanence, we can live more fully with less fear and more gratitude. Acceptance is one of the core teachings of Stoic philosophy and an indispensable tool for building inner peace and confidence. At its heart, acceptance means recognizing that there are things in life we cannot control, and instead of futilely resisting these realities, we should embrace them. Epictetus famously advised, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." This simple yet profound idea can drastically transform our approach to life, helping us release stress, anxiety, and frustration. We often expend enormous amounts of energy trying to change external factors, the actions of others, unexpected events, or even the weather. The Stoics believed that this constant struggle to control the uncontrollable is a primary source of human suffering. When we resist what is, we create tension and inner turmoil. When we practice acceptance, we find peace by aligning ourselves with reality, as it is not as we wish it would be. To understand the power of this principle, consider a common scenario: getting stuck in traffic. A typical reaction is frustration, anger, and a sense of helplessness. But no matter how much you fume, the traffic does not move. It is completely outside of your control. However, if you approach the situation with a Stoic mindset, you accept that the traffic is beyond your influence and you choose to use the time to listen to a podcast. Practice deep breathing or simply observe the situation calmly. This simple shift transforms a stressful experience into an opportunity for peace. Marcus Aurelius's words perfectly encapsulate this idea. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. We cannot control external events, but we always have control over our internal reactions. By accepting what we cannot change, we conserve our mental energy and focus it on what we can influence: our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. It is crucial to understand that Stoic acceptance does not mean resignation or giving up. It is not about being okay with a situation or being a passive victim. Instead, it is about recognizing reality and then taking purposeful action within your sphere of influence. For example, if a project you worked hard on does not receive the recognition you hoped for, you can choose to accept that others' responses are outside of your control. What is within your control is the quality of your work and the pride you take in your effort. By accepting the situation, you release the need for external validation and find peace in knowing that you did your best, which builds confidence and resilience. Seneca also taught about the power of acceptance when it comes to dealing with challenges, advising that we should see them as opportunities for growth, not obstacles to happiness. He wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This principle is also transformative in personal relationships. When a friend cancels plans last minute, our instinct may be to feel frustrated or resentful. However, a Stoic would practice acceptance, recognizing that we cannot control others' behavior, only our response. We can choose to respond with patience and understanding, maintaining our inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Similarly, acceptance of failure is a key component of resilience. The Stoics believe that failure is a natural part of life and a chance for learning and growth, not a reflection of your worth. By accepting failure as part of the process, you learn from it and move forward with greater wisdom and confidence. Lastly, acceptance is about letting go of the past. The Stoics knew that the past is beyond our control and cannot be changed, and clinging to it only hinders our ability to live in the present. Marcus Aurelius advised us to accept that the past is a mere fragment of time no longer with us. By embracing this truth, we free ourselves from its grip and focus on shaping our future in the present. In conclusion, the power of acceptance is a central Stoic lesson that leads to greater peace and resilience, helping us navigate life's challenges with grace by focusing our energy on what we can influence. Learning to let go is one of the most liberating practices you can adopt, and it is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Whether it involves releasing past mistakes, failed relationships, unrealistic expectations, or attachments to things beyond our control, this practice is essential for maintaining inner peace and emotional resilience. The Stoics believe that much of our suffering stems from clinging to things we cannot control, and by releasing these attachments, we free ourselves from unnecessary pain. Epictetus famously taught, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." This highlights that our suffering is often self-inflicted, born from our emotional attachment to how we think things should be, rather than accepting them as they are. Letting go does not mean becoming passive or indifferent. Instead, it means releasing our emotional attachment to things that are outside of our control. For instance, holding on to anger from a past argument does nothing to change the outcome. It only causes you more distress. By letting go of that anger, you allow yourself to move forward without carrying the emotional burden of the past. Marcus Aurelius encouraged a focus on appreciating the present moment and not letting past grievances weigh us down. This practice is particularly powerful when dealing with past regrets. Seneca advised, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end," reminding us that to embrace new opportunities, we must first release what is no longer serving us. Consider the pain of a breakup or the end of a friendship. Many people struggle to let go, dwelling on what went wrong or what they could have done differently, which prolongs their suffering. The Stoics would advise you to view all relationships as temporary gifts. Instead of clinging to what was, you can honor the relationship for the role it played in your life and then let go of the need to hold on to something that has naturally ended. This principle extends to all areas of life, including our attachment to possessions and social status. We often define ourselves by our jobs or achievements, but the Stoics taught that these external markers are fleeting. By letting go of this need for external validation, we cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace and confidence. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free," emphasizing that the courage to let go of attachments is what ultimately gives us freedom. Letting go also applies to our expectations. We often set ourselves up for disappointment by expecting a certain outcome, whether it is a job promotion or a perfect vacation. The Stoics remind us that we can control our effort, but not the outcome. Marcus Aurelius advised us to accept what fate brings us and to love the people in our lives with all our hearts without rigid expectations. This mindset makes us more adaptable and resilient in the face of unexpected outcomes. A powerful aspect of letting go is releasing our attachment to what others think of us, as this need for approval can cause anxiety and erode our confidence. Epictetus advised, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid," highlighting the importance of freeing yourself from the constant pressure of living up to others' expectations. For example, if you are nervous about a presentation at work, you can choose to let go of the need for external validation and focus on your preparation and delivery instead. By letting go of the outcome, you reduce your anxiety and build confidence in your own ability. In conclusion, learning to let go is a powerful Stoic practice that frees us from emotional burdens and helps us live with greater peace and clarity. It is not about giving up, but about finding the freedom to live fully in the present without being weighed down by what we cannot change. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the moment, is an essential tool for cultivating inner peace and emotional resilience in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that much of our suffering comes from not living in the present, from constantly thinking about things we cannot control, whether they have already happened or might happen in the future. Marcus Aurelius expressed the importance of this by writing, "Confine yourself to the present." This advice reminds us that the present is the only moment we truly have. When we allow our minds to drift into the past or future, we lose touch with what is happening right now, which leads to anxiety, stress, and dissatisfaction. Mindfulness helps us bring our attention back to the present, allowing us to engage more fully with life and respond to challenges with clarity and composure. Practicing mindfulness can be simple. It is about learning to focus on the task at hand, whether it's a conversation, a walk, or even something as simple as washing the dishes. By paying attention to your thoughts and surroundings, you become more attuned to the present moment, which strengthens your mental resilience and helps you approach life with greater calm. For example, if your mind is racing with thoughts about a past argument, mindfulness can help you notice that your mind is wandering and gently bring it back to the task in front of you. This not only improves your focus, but also helps you let go of unnecessary mental burdens. Epictetus believed that mindfulness was crucial for managing our emotions because it allows us to become aware of our emotional reactions and choose how to respond rather than reacting impulsively. This emotional self-regulation is a key component of Stoic wisdom. Consider a situation where someone cuts you off in traffic. A mindful person can catch themselves before they react with anger, recognizing the feeling of anger and choosing not to act on it. Instead of shouting, they can take a deep breath and continue driving peacefully. This ability to observe your emotions without being controlled by them is a profound benefit of mindfulness. It is also a powerful tool for reducing anxiety about the future. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality," reminding us that much of our anxiety comes from imagining worst-case scenarios. By practicing mindfulness, we bring our focus back to the present, which reduces anxiety and helps us deal with challenges more effectively. Mindfulness also helps us realize the transitory nature of our thoughts and emotions. The Stoics believe that our thoughts are not necessarily reality. They are just temporary mental events that come and go. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." By practicing mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts without getting caught up in them, gaining the ability to let go of negative or unhelpful thoughts. This practice enhances our ability to experience gratitude and joy, as we are more likely to notice the beauty around us, like the warmth of the sun or the laughter of a friend. Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." And mindfulness is the practice that helps us train ourselves to focus on what we have in the present moment. In conclusion, mindfulness is a key Stoic lesson that helps us live with greater peace, focus, and emotional resilience by freeing ourselves from worries about the future and dwelling on the past. In our constantly connected world, silence is often undervalued, but in Stoic philosophy, it is a powerful tool for reflection, growth, and self-control. Marcus Aurelius highlighted its importance when he wrote, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Using silence effectively allows us to process our thoughts, make better decisions, and respond to challenges with calm and wisdom. In a world full of noise, many people feel uncomfortable with silence, filling every moment with distractions. But Stoicism teaches that silence is an active practice that gives us space to reflect and become more intentional in our engagement with the world. Using silence effectively means being comfortable with moments of quiet. Seneca emphasized the value of silence in personal reflection, noting that it is quality rather than quantity that matters. By spending time in silence, we can sift through the noise in our minds, gaining clarity about our values and goals, and making decisions that are aligned with our true selves. For example, if you feel frustrated in a meeting, pausing before you respond allows you to approach the situation with greater calm and clarity, rather than letting your emotions dictate your response. This brief moment of silence can help you respond thoughtfully and constructively, which builds your credibility. Silence is also a powerful tool for self-restraint. The Stoics believed that controlling our impulses is a key part of living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius advised asking, "Is this necessary?" before we speak, ensuring that our words are meaningful and purposeful. In today's social media world, where there is pressure to react immediately, the ability to use silence is more important than ever. By choosing to pause and reflect before reacting, we protect our peace of mind and avoid unnecessary conflicts. This practice also creates space for self-awareness, allowing us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment and to recognize patterns in our behavior. In conclusion, using silence effectively is a powerful Stoic practice that helps us cultivate self-control, clarity, and emotional resilience. By learning to pause and reflect, we can strengthen our relationships, make better decisions, and live more mindfully. One of the most powerful lessons in Stoic philosophy is the importance of focusing on the journey, rather than becoming overly attached to the outcome. In a world that emphasizes success and results, it is easy to believe that happiness only comes when we reach our goals. However, the Stoics taught that true contentment lies in the process, in the day-to-day actions, the growth, and the learning that happens along the way. Epictetus encouraged us to release our obsessive focus on outcomes and appreciate the effort and discipline that come with pursuing our goals, writing, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens happen the way it happens, then you will be happy." By enjoying the journey, we free ourselves from the constant pressure of success and failure, and learn to find joy in the small everyday victories that make life meaningful. For example, a marathon runner who focuses only on crossing the finish line might miss the satisfaction of the months of training, the strength they build, and the discipline they develop. The Stoics would encourage this person to take pride in the effort and the process, rather than seeing success only in the final result. Focusing on the journey also helps us stay present and engaged in what we are doing. Marcus Aurelius advised that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, reminding us that our mindset shapes our experience of life. If we are constantly chasing a future result, we risk missing the beauty of the process. For instance, on a long-term work project, if you become consumed by worry about the outcome, the joy of the project fades and it becomes a source of stress. But if you apply Stoic wisdom and focus on the effort, the skills you are developing, and the growth you are experiencing, you can reduce the pressure and enjoy the process again. Another important aspect of enjoying the journey is recognizing that outcomes are never guaranteed. Seneca wrote, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, It is because we do not dare that things are difficult, reminding us that the courage to act is what matters, not the guarantee of success. When we accept that outcomes are uncertain, we free ourselves from the fear of failure and focus on doing our best, knowing that the process itself is valuable regardless of the result. Athletes and artists find joy in the practice itself, not just in external recognition, which leads to lasting satisfaction. This idea is also helpful when we face setbacks, as focusing on the journey helps us see them as opportunities for learning and growth, not as the end of the world. Epictetus advised viewing obstacles as chances to develop resilience and wisdom, which makes us stronger and more confident. The Stoics also remind us to be patient with ourselves, as growth happens gradually. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a bird has its own way of singing, reminding us to honor our own path without rushing the process. In conclusion, enjoying the journey is a core Stoic lesson that helps us live with greater peace and contentment by shifting our focus from the end result to the process itself. One of the most beautiful lessons from Stoic philosophy is learning to find joy in the simplest things. In a world that equates happiness with wealth and grand achievements, Stoicism teaches us that true contentment comes from appreciating the small, everyday moments. Seneca believed that living simply and valuing what is already present in our lives is the key to lasting happiness. Writing, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." This quote reminds us that joy is not found in a constant pursuit of more, but in recognizing the abundance we already have. The Stoics emphasized that happiness is an internal state cultivated by our mindset, not by external circumstances. When we shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, we discover beauty and joy all around us. Simple moments like a warm cup of coffee or a kind smile from a stranger are where true contentment lies if we are present enough to notice them. Marcus Aurelius encouraged us to focus on thoughts that bring us peace and joy, rather than being consumed by desires for more. In our consumer-driven world, we are constantly told we need more to be happy, but the Stoics teach that this endless pursuit leads to dissatisfaction. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants," reminding us that by reducing our desires, we can experience a deeper sense of joy. You can practice this by pausing during a walk in the park to appreciate the beauty around you, shifting your mindset from stress to gratitude. This ability to appreciate the present is a crucial part of a fulfilled life. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to dissatisfaction. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." You can practice gratitude by keeping a journal or simply pausing throughout the day to acknowledge small blessings. The Stoics also valued simplicity and moderation, believing that a life of balance, not luxury, is the key to inner peace. Epictetus advised, "He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing," encouraging us to simplify our lives and appreciate what we have. This simplicity reduces stress and makes room for true joy. Finding joy in simplicity also means being present with the people you care about. The Stoics believed that these moments of connection are among the most meaningful experiences in life. Marcus Aurelius encouraged us to be fully present in our interactions, appreciating the privilege of being alive and with others. In conclusion, finding joy in the simplest things is a powerful Stoic lesson that helps us live with greater peace and contentment by shifting our focus to the present moment and appreciating what we already have. Gratitude is a powerful practice for cultivating happiness, peace, and resilience, and it holds a central place in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believe that by regularly reflecting on what we are grateful for, we can shift our focus from what we lack to the abundance present in our lives. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart," reminding us that gratitude is about living with a mindset that appreciates life's gifts. In a world that encourages the constant pursuit of more gratitude, helps us ground ourselves in the present and find contentment regardless of external circumstances. Epictetus encouraged us to rejoice in what we have rather than grieving for what we do not, which helps us focus on the good in our lives even when we face challenges. Practicing gratitude does not mean ignoring difficulties, but acknowledging the positive aspects of life, even in hardship. For example, if you are disappointed about not getting a promotion, you can practice gratitude by focusing on the opportunities you still have and the skills you have gained. This balances disappointment with appreciation, which reduces stress and helps you maintain a positive outlook. Marcus Aurelius also emphasized daily gratitude beginning each day by being thankful for the simple privilege of being alive. This sets a positive tone for the entire day. You can cultivate gratitude by keeping a journal and writing down a few things you are thankful for each day, training your mind to focus on the positive. Gratitude also strengthens relationships by helping you appreciate the small acts of kindness from others. Seneca advised us to express gratitude to others to strengthen our bonds with them, which also enriches our own sense of well-being. Another aspect of gratitude is appreciating life's simple pleasures, as the Stoics believe that happiness is found in simplicity, not luxury. Epictetus taught that we should focus on the essentials, such as health and relationships, and find joy in these simple aspects of life. This cultivates a mindset of abundance, even if your circumstances are modest. Seneca reminds us that contentment comes from within, not from acquiring more, as it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. In conclusion, gratitude is a fundamental Stoic practice that brings greater peace and resilience, helping us live with more joy and contentment by appreciating what we have in the present moment. In our constantly connected world, solitude can seem like a rare commodity, but Stoic philosophy teaches that it is essential for personal growth and emotional well-being. Marcus Aurelius found great value in solitude writing. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Solitude is a time for introspection and self-improvement, allowing you to assess your thoughts and reconnect with your values. While many people avoid solitude because it feels uncomfortable, Stoicism teaches that it is a powerful tool for self-discovery. Seneca believed that being comfortable in one's own company is a sign of a well-ordered mind and inner peace. For example, after a stressful day at work, taking a few moments of solitude can help you process your emotions and learn from your experiences rather than just using distractions to escape them. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about retreating into oneself for peace and wisdom, believing that this practice allows you to respond to challenges with more composure. The greatest benefit of solitude is the development of a stronger sense of self-awareness, which helps you make intentional decisions that align with your values. For instance, if you are at a career crossroads, spending time in solitude can help you filter out the noise of others' opinions and reconnect with your inner wisdom to make the right decision for yourself. Solitude is also a powerful tool for emotional regulation. It provides the space to observe your emotions without being controlled by them. Epictetus taught that we should examine our thoughts and feelings in solitude to determine if they are serving us or clouding our judgment, which helps us respond to challenges with calm and clarity. This is particularly helpful when dealing with conflict, as solitude allows you to process your emotions and respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. The Stoics also saw solitude as an opportunity to practice gratitude and reflection, cultivating a sense of contentment by appreciating the abundance in your life. In conclusion, appreciating solitude is a vital Stoic lesson for cultivating inner strength, clarity, and emotional resilience. By creating space for quiet reflection, you can reconnect with your values, process your emotions, and navigate life's challenges with greater confidence and calm.